Osas-Daniel. This morning I just felt like doing this video because it's so strong and it's like a burden. I went out this morning for my early morning exercise to jog around, and on my way back a thought just dropped in my mind. And what was the thought? Is the fact that I just found out the reason why majority of people are poor. And the reason is very simple and many have never thought of it. And what is it? It's because many people are selling their birthright for money. And as long as you sell your birthright for money, you will always be poor. And then you will wonder why. What is it? What is my birthright that I'm selling for money? Now, first you want to ask, what is a birthright? A birthright is what you have that belongs to you and you alone and was given to you at birth. And I discovered that what was given to us at birth that every one of us has is our time. And you see, God is so generous that He gave the same birthright to everybody that comes upon this planet Earth. And what is the time? 24 hours a day. We are all given 24 hours a day. And you see, many people are selling their time for money. And as long as you sell your time for money, you are going to be poor. You are going to be poor as long as you sell your time for money. If you go to work every day and what they pay you for is the number of hours you spend there, you are going to remain poor almost all your life. Because the story that came to my mind while I was pondering on this as I was coming back was a man who sold his birthright in the Bible. And that was Esau. You know the story of Esau and Jacob. How Esau sold his birthright for what he thought he needed most at that time. Just like you also think that what you need most now is money. And that's the reason why you are selling your time for money. You see, Esau sold his birthright for a plate of pottage that he needed at that time. Food, that was what he needed at that time. And he sold it. He sold his birthright for what he needed at that particular time. And what happened to him? He lost it in life. The blessings that was tied to his birthright was denied him. You see, many of us are selling our time for money. Why? Because you think that what I need now is money. And because I want money, then I have to give my time for money. Listen. If what they are paying you for in the place where you work is just your time, you can't be rich that way. You can't be rich that way. And I discovered that that's the reason why many civil servants, majority that I've seen, are poor. And most that eventually became rich, only very few became rich being a civil servant. Not just civil servant. If the job that you are doing, if the business that you are, I've heard people say, yeah, I'm self-employed, I have my own business, good and fine. But if your business cannot run without your presence, without you spending time there, then you can't make headway. You can't become rich and wealthy through that business. It's good to own your own business, but that's not the way out. That is not the way out. If the way a civil servant goes to job by 8 o'clock and close by 5, that's the same way you go to your own business and close by 5, and as long as you are there, that's the only time that business will yield profit. You are not different from a civil servant. Our birthright, our time is not to be sold. Any anybody who is paying you for your time, anyone who is paying you because of the number of time you spend with them, the person is actually not doing you a favor. The person is actually robbing you of your birthright. And I've also discovered that the reason why most African countries are poor is because of the value we place on time. Time is the only birthright that we were given at birth. And God gave the same to everybody. Have you ever heard people talk about African time? Why? That's because Africans, we tend to have this sense of lack of value for the time of people. You go to work every day, and when you go to work, whether you do anything or not, at the end of the month, you are being paid for coming to work. In fact, you are meant to sign the register when you came in and when you closed. That is supposed to give you an indication that they are paying you for your time. If they are paying you for what you actually do in that place of work, then they won't ask you to write the time you came in and the time you closed. Because if what you do is what they pay you for, they will have other means of validating what you have done. But now you go to work 8 o'clock and you close by 5. And all you are being given is a token at the end of the month. What were they paying you for? They were paying you for your time. And as long as you are being paid for your time, you will always remain poor. But now, how do you become rich? Your time is given to you to sell your value. Your time is not your value. Your time is given to you to sell the value that you have. And any place where they only pay you for your time and not the value that you have, that place is not doing you well. That place is not doing you well. I heard of someone who went to a company and the company had issue with the most important machine they had there. And they tried all they could, the machine didn't work. They tried over and over again for more than 24 hours. They couldn't power the machine, so they lost profit for that day. Then they had to send for an engineer. And when the engineer came, the engineer just looked at the machine and then just removed a pin and replaced it with another pin. And that was all. The machine started working. And they asked him how much was his bill. He told them his bill was $10,000. He said, what? For what? Please, can you write, and just write an invoice. Let's know what you actually did that is worth this. And he collected the invoice and he wrote. He said, $9,000 for knowing what to do, and then $1,000 for the time I spent in doing it. Do you see? He had a value, and he brought the value and used his time to sell his value. But then what they paid him for his value should be more than what they were paying for his time, because you can't even pay him for that time. And they said, what? You mean this is what he said? He said, yes, that's what you will pay me. And you see, you are supposed to look for what it is that you have, that you are bringing to the table. When you go to work every day, do not fold your hands even if there is nothing to do. Look for something to do. Look for something that resonates with the value that you know that you have. so that you can prove a point that it is not your time they are paying for. And as you keep giving that value in that place where they want you to always be there from 8 to 5, like civil servants will always do, keep giving that value. Keep giving that value. A time will come when you have built so much worth in your value that you can resign from the job and you go to a place and deliver that same value in 30 minutes and they will pay you more than what your monthly salary has been. You need to spend your time selling the value, the worth that you have. Don't allow anyone to pay for your time. And do not stay where people don't value your time. You see, the church I attend today, one of the reasons why I attend that church is because of their respect for time. Once it's time for the service to begin, whether it's one person that is there, the service must begin. Why? They have a sense of value for my birthright. I think the reason why it's called time is why many of us do not value it. Please, I want you to, from today, turn your time to your birthright. Any place you go to where they are wasting your time, tell them they are wasting your birthright. I think it will sound better. It will sound better. Do not join the bandwagon that propagates African time. Because if you join that, you are almost going to remain poor in life. Let us have value for our birthright. And let us use our birthright as a platform, as a trade to sell our value. And you will ask, what do I do? What I'm giving to you today is my value. And that's what I want to do with the rest of my life. That's what I want to spend my time doing. I am working where I'm working today. Why? Because it gives me opportunity to sell my value. I'm a teacher and I love teaching. And that's why I picked the job that I am doing. You are in a place where you know that is not your value. Then they are paying you for your time. But while you prepare to navigate into a place where they will pay you for the value that you are bringing to the table, take time to value your birthright and ensure that you are not being paid for your birthright where you are working. Ensure that you are using your birthright to provide value. Ensure that you are using your time to sell your value. And I tell you, if you invest in your value with your birthright, in no distant time you discover that money is no longer your problem. Money will no longer be your problem. If you just recognize the fact that your time is your birthright, it's not for sale, and that what is for sale is the value that is in you. But if you are having problem finding the value that is in you, then I want you to always stay tuned on this channel, because I am going to be posting videos that will teach you how to discover the value that you already have. You already have it. I know you have it, and I'm going to show you how to discover it. And once you find it, you are going to live life on your own terms. If this video has added any value to you, then click the like button and stay subscribed. Thank you till I come your way.